All right. Hi there, everyone. This is Dave DeBow, and in just a few moments, we're going to get ready to rumble with tonight's presentation with my special guest, Gene Guarino, all the way from beautiful, steamy, hot Phoenix, Arizona. And if you hear a tinge of jealousy in my voice, Gene, it's because I'm freezing my derriere off here in beautiful British Columbia. Uh, but I don't get any sympathy from anybody else because this is the warm side of the country for us, my friend. So,
Yeah, I was
uh,
going to say, when you told me the temperature, I was like, that's not as cold as it could be.
oh
So,
no, it can be a lot colder, that's for sure. So, just a quick shout out to everybody that's on the call live. So, Chris and Christian and Conal and Conan and somebody with DD, Kong and Glynis and Hillary, Ida, Jamie. Hey, Jamie, good to see you, buddy. Janice, Kewal, Marie, Mook, Nicole, Paula, Rick, Sandy. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. Is that good to see everybody? TJ, Sean, Tim. Hey, Tim, going to be out in your neck of the woods a couple of days, buddy. And Trevor, that's who we got on the line so far, and they keep rolling in. So, you guys, welcome tonight to tonight's presentation. I'm pretty sure most of you who are either watching this or if you're not watching live, you're watching the replay. Chances are this is familiar to you because Gene and I did a presentation back in November all about residential assisted living. It was a real big hit. We had a really good amount of interest in the webinar and even more interest in Gene's training around how he's done residential assisted living, how he teaches and trains, at this point, thousands of other people across primarily the United States and some Canadians as well about how to do this. And a whole bunch of us took advantage of a special offer and jumped in and took his course. And Gene, I have to give you some kudos here, my friend. We didn't talk about this ahead of time, but I've put together courses myself. I've given courses. I've taken God knows how many courses in person and online. And I have to tip my imaginary hat to you. That is by far the best organized online course I've ever participated in.
wow.
So whoever helped you out with that, give them a pat on the back because they did an awesome job. So amazing course, amazing content as well. But I just love the way you can really tell that Gene and the gang want us to learn this stuff and not just kind of cruise through it. So it's all divided up into bite-sized chunks. And after you do each little chunk, you have to take a little quiz to make
Yeah.
sure you're paying attention before they'll let you go on to the next one.
Yeah.
So that kept me on my toes. And like I told everybody, I was going to go through that idea. I went through the program over in December while I was in Mexico trying to warm up. And it was an excellent course given, excellent, much more in depth, obviously, overview of how the whole business works. So today, what our goal is to have Gene remind us a little bit about the big picture of what the whole residential assisted living business is all about, and then take us in a little bit deeper into a little bit of the behind the scenes of what's going on with residential assisted living. And also, I know myself and several other people, we're really kind of interested in going down and
Yeah.
seeing what this is all about live, because you do workshops on a pretty regular basis. In fact, I'm seriously thinking about going to the one that's coming up in March. So we'll be talking about that as well, you guys. And if you're interested in joining me and several other Canucks to jump on the bus with Gene and the gang and go kick the tires at some of these residential assisted living facilities, welcome you to do that. So again, if you're not, Gene, I'm just talking right over here, but I got so much good stuff to say. So if you didn't see the first webinar with Gene, Gene is North America's #1 authority. I'd say the world's #1 authority on residential assisted living, especially the way he does it, which is taking a single family home and just supercharging that sucker by turning that into a residential assisted living facility. So this isn't a big old fashioned nursing home. It's not the seniors apartments and whatnot that you might be familiar with. This is a very, very different concept. And I think that's why it resonated with people so well. So Gene, I'll quit flapping my lips and I'll let you take over, my friend.
Well, thanks so much. Those are wonderful comments, and I really, really appreciate that about your experience with the home study course. And I got to tell you, our live training is even better. So if you love the home study, you're going to really, really love the live training. The and also, I do want to say this too. Thank you for inviting me. I've had lots of invitations to speak in Canada and speak to groups in Canada, and I really haven't said yes until you came. So this is really the first time that people are getting this exposure to this. And certainly it can be done in Canada, but I do it in the US, and that's where we train people how to. So I'm going to give it to you from the US perspective. And those of you who do decide that you want to come and learn this, you're going to come and you're going to learn, and you can do it either in the US or potentially back in Canada or any place you want to do it. We have had students from all over the country come to our training and take it back to and apply it in their country, their province, their state, whatever it may be. And so I'm going to give you that opportunity. And Dave and I were talking, and at the end of this presentation, I'm going to keep it brief but very informative. At the end of this presentation, for those of you that had taken advantage of the home study course offer that we gave you, which is quite a big discount, we're going to make you another offer. And this is an offer that I know you're going to want to take advantage of. We're going to make it available for just a very short period of time. We're going to give you a code word. We're going to give you access to it. And for those of you who are saying, you know what, I'm serious, I want to do this, you'll have that opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. And again, I appreciate you being here. I just want to see, I'm going to check and see how many of you are out there so I get a feel good. So I'm hoping that many of you who are here now have been to our training or you got our home study course. And if not, I'm going to give you some information on what it is, this industry itself and the parts that you might play. Then you can decide if you want to do the home study, but I'm going to really highly encourage you to come on out to the live training. So there's 3 ways you can participate. I'm going to go through those with you here. And in addition to that, there's a real estate play as well as a business play. But there's 5 keys to doing this successfully. And I'm going to go through this briefly with you tonight because it's important that you know. But when I say location, we can do it any place, any country, any province, any state. But what we're looking for in that location is the demographics. We want to have more people rather than less. We want to have people of higher income rather than lower income. And we do want to have some people who have age. And what I mean by that is we're not looking for a college campus where the average person is 30 years old. We're looking for an area where I would be your perfect demographic, 50, 60 years old with parents that are 80 or 90 years old. I'm the kind of place, the person you want to attract or the neighborhood you'd want to put one of these homes because I'm really the client, not the person living in the home. My mother or father might be living in the home, but I'm the one who's choosing the home, the location, and ultimately paying the bill. So when we talk about location, I want to just make that clear. You can do it anywhere, but there should be more people rather than less. And you're looking for people who have the means to be able to pay for mom and dad's care, not something the federal government or the provincial government or the state government pays for, but something that an individual is saying, I'm willing to take money out of my pocket to pay for mom and dad's care. So simply put, we call that private pay, and we'll kind of get into that theme a little bit. For those of you who have never looked me up or have any idea, I've been doing real estate for a long, long time. 18 was my first residential. 25 was the first commercial. I've had dozens of businesses over dozens and dozens of years. I was formerly a professional musician, recording studios, small record label, music school. I've invested in real estate. I'm a certified financial planner in the US, licensed in Australia for over 20 years in the US and 7 or 8 in Australia as well. I've literally trained over 300,000 people worldwide in all kinds of business entrepreneurship, and I've mentored thousands and thousands of people, written books and hosted radio shows. The most recent radio show was called Second Wind Success, helping baby boomers discover their second wind in business and in life. That makes sense. We don't all figure it out when we're 20 years old. May not be our first career. For me, I didn't really figure it out till I was in my 50s. And now I'm getting ready to be in my 60s in a year or so. And, you know, it's important to know what your passion is, what your purpose is. And we're going to talk about that. My latest book is The Investor's Guide to, or The Insider's Guide to Investing in Senior Housing. And you can get a copy of that on Amazon. The latest book is coming out about a month from right now. But in addition to that, I've been married for 34 years to the love of my life, and we've got 4 incredible kids, 3 of which work with me full time, plus a son-in-law, daughter-in-law, and a future son-in-law. So it's really a family affair in what we do. And in addition, I've got 2 grandkids. So that's me on a personal level, so you understand. The companies that we have is called the AL Family, Assisted Living Family Group of Companies. Tonight, we're going to talk about the Residential Assisted Living Academy. That's the company we're here to talk about, because when I first got into this, I heard about it 20 years ago. And I heard about it from the baby boomers are coming. They're going to need a place to live and they're going to need assistance. So I remember asking the person who was sharing that, he was presenting in a big stage, and I ran up and said, "Tell me more." And he said, "Well, I can't because I don't do it. I'm just saying you should do it." And I was disappointed, but there was nobody willing to teach me how. Nobody who was doing it successfully who was willing to show me how. The ones that were doing it unsuccessfully might be willing to answer my questions, but they weren't successful. So what good is that? I'm not going to learn the right lesson if they're not successful. So my interest went down until my mom needed help. And when my mom needed help, it stopped being business and now it's personal. It's mom, it's dad, it's grandma, it's grandpa. When they need help, now it's personal. It's no longer just about the money or the real estate or the opportunity. So when I first heard about it a long time ago, it's just business. But when mom needed help, it's personal. So now I was on that side. I'm looking for a place for mom to be safe, to be taken care of. And I remember looking around and what I found was appalling. It made me sick or it made me sad. And they were full. Even if it was a place I wouldn't even put my mother, they were full with a waiting list. And I said, there's an opportunity here. There's millions of people that are aging. They need a place to go. They need great care with people who love them. They're already charging a boatload of money. And I know I can do this and do it even better. Because the reality is, mom didn't want to live in a hotel. She wanted to live in a home, her own home, but now she needed assistance. So that's where this whole thing started, what we now call the Residential Assisted Living Academy and the AL Family Group of Companies. So I do this. I own and operate these homes. I invest in these homes. And the RALAcademy is where we teach others how to do the same. We even have a national convention. It's called the RALNatCon. And last year we had Robert Kiyosaki as one of our keynotes, and it was fun to interview him. I've known Robert for years, and he's gotten into senior housing. So we've got a little more chummy on that part because he understands that. And it was great to share with him one of my latest line of cigars as well. I was surprised he stayed and had it that night, but he did. And introduced him to another friend of mine. You may know him from the Dos Equis beer commercials, Jonathan Goldsmith, the most interesting man in the world. So it's kind of neat to get these kind of guys together. But at our national convention, that's where people learn why RAL, why you, and why now. Really, those are the 3 questions I want you to be asking and answering for yourself here tonight. Why is this the right place to be? Is it right for you? And why is this the right time? And if you come to the same conclusion that I do, that this is the best place to be in business and real estate for the next 20 years, well, I'm going to show you exactly how to get the information you need, exactly how to get the hand-holding you want, and the step-by-step formula, proven formula, so that you can do it too. So I'm going to share all of that with you here tonight. And for me, it all started with this. This is a picture of my oldest daughter, my first grandchild, and my mom. And this is about 6 months before mom passed away. And I know sometimes people say, "I'm sorry you lost your mom." I didn't lose her. I know exactly where she is. So if you want to have that conversation, we can. But about 6 months before mom passed away, she had her first great granddaughter, her first great grandchild. And I wanted to make sure they got together and had a chance to meet. So they did. My only regret about this picture is I'm not in it. There is no picture with all 4 generations, but I'm glad I have this one. And I remember when mom needed help, and I told you about when I first heard about this, it was business, but there was nobody willing to show me how. But when mom needed help, now it became serious. And I couldn't find what I was looking for, a place that I'd be comfortable having my own mother live in. So I vowed to create it, a home, not a hotel, a home that I'd be proud to have my own mother move into. And I did. And then I did it again, and I did it again. And immediately people were asking me to show them how I did it. So I did. And that's how this whole thing began. The need is so huge. It's a literal crisis for many people, but it's an opportunity for those of us who take advantage of it. Now, the average person in an assisted living home or community, a larger one, is born in 1938. Here's where they are in the chart. This shows the annual birth rate. This is in the US, but it'll be the same in Canada, give you the same idea. Now, right there, it's a lull, it's a low spot in the birth rate annually, right there. But there is a huge spike right here in what, 1945, 1946, what's that? It's the end of World War II. Now, World War for Canada, US, all over the world, what happened was it ended. Servicemen came home, got busy, population explosion. That's the spike you see. But they said, that was fun, let's do it again. And then they said, let's keep on doing it. And that is what we now refer to as the baby boom generation. It is literally, when you look at where we are on the chart, we're at this low spot right here. This business is good right now, but it's getting better and better and better for the next 20 years. This is an opportunity of a lifetime if you see it and take advantage of it. It's like seeing a stock chart 10 years in advance. Imagine if you knew what Google stock would do 10 years in advance, what Tesla's stock would do 10 years in advance. You would be in at the right time. This is the right time. 1960, here's the breakdown, male, female, and you can see that there's very few people at the top. Projected for 2060, just a few years from now, millions of people at the top. A huge demographic shift. The fastest growing demographic in the world is the super seniors. That 85 plus is growing at 3 times the rate of every other demographic. Guys, this is the place to be. Whether it's real estate or business, this is your opportunity. And it's not just me saying it. Harry S. Dent Jr., the New York Times bestseller, says the opportunity of our lifetimes, bold statement, in real estate development and investing is likely to be nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Now, we had Harry at our national convention last year as a keynote. He shared with us his insights in his latest book, The 0 Hour, and he's on board. Robert Kiyosaki's on board. Warren Buffett's on board. Every major investor, book writer, everybody who's out there today is talking about the opportunities in seniors. So senior housing is where I choose to play. Now, if you do, you're on that opportunity side. But if you don't, well, it could be a crisis, a silver tsunami of seniors coming. There's always 2 sides to a coin. I choose to look at the positive side, the opportunity side. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, every real estate cycle has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And in Canada, a lot of you are in there, Canada right now. A lot of you have seen leveling off. It was amazing how fast you went up and just continued to go up. But you're starting to see things level off, even slow down, maybe a few less buyers, maybe even start to come down a little bit. So what are your opportunities with real estate in the US or in Canada, wherever it may be? Well, a lot of people get into real estate with something called fixing and flipping or wholesaling. So they get it under contract, sell their rights to the contract, or they buy it, fix it up, and sell it. Make 10, 20, 30,000 or a little more, but it's a one-time transaction. Once they sell it, they're done, and they got to go find another one. The problem is with every new television show that comes out, fixing this, flipping that, thousands of new people come into the market and drive the prices up. So then people say, you know what, fix and flip is fun, but it's one time. I want to keep getting paid again and again and again. So then they start to do rental homes. Single family is where most people start. They take the home, they rent it out, they hope to make positive cash flow. Usually it's 100, 200, maybe a few $100s a month, not enough to retire on. You would need dozens or 100 homes in order to retire on it. So then people say, you know what else could we do with a single family home? Maybe we rent it out by the bedroom, not the whole house to one family, but maybe individual rooms to individuals, whether it be student housing or maybe even senior housing. Now maybe we're netting $1,000 a month. And some people say, well, let's do short-term rentals, Airbnb or VRBO. Let's rent it out for a few days or a week, and now we can make even more. But what I do, and I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee all of you will get involved in what I do one way or the other, either the real estate, the business, or both, or you or a family member is going to be lying in a bed writing a check to somebody who does residential assisted living, taking a single family home and making $10,000 a month or more from one single family home. So I'm going to show that to you right here tonight. I'm going to go through this really fast, so I hope you're ready. Those of you who saw it before, don't worry. I've got something incredibly special for you at the end, so stay right there with me. Gene, what is residential assisted living? I've heard of the big buildings where there's 100 or 200 or 300 seniors in it, but what's residential? It's a single family home in a residential neighborhood. Yes, I know there's rules and regulations and homeowners associations. I understand that, but we've cracked the code. We know exactly how to deal with this. There's about 30,000 of these homes in the US today. It absolutely is and can be done. So what is happening in that home? It's not a hospital, it's not a doctor's office, but their activities of daily living are being taken care of by caregivers 24/7, not doctors and nurses, not medical, caregivers. Well, Gene, it sounds like a big hospital or assisted living. No, it's not that. Well, Gene, it sounds like the Golden Girls. They take a home, they live in it together. No, that didn't have caregivers. They were just living in it together. It's right in between those two. It is a single family home in a neighborhood in a residential setting, but it's not just the seniors live in there and take care of themselves. It's a group of seniors. The home is furnished just like your home, kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, all of those things are taken care of, but it's a group of seniors. And you notice from this picture, there's more women than men. Why is that? Because a lot of times women outlive men, right? They're killing us off. No, I'm joking. Statistically, they last longer, they live longer. So if it's a husband and wife, he goes, she stays. Maybe she's here for a year or 2 or 5 or 10, and at some point, somebody needs that assistance. Not everybody moves into assisted living, but every year, hundreds of thousands of people do. There's no room in the inn, but it's a home. It's where they live. It's not a hospital. It's not medical. It's a home. They can have a beverage. They can have a party. The kids who are 50, 60 may visit for a few hours, but they are the ones who are living there 24/7. They're being taken care of by caregivers. Now, before I talk about all the money you can make, we have a motto, and it's called do good and do well. So do good, doing good for other people, for your community, for others, making things better for other people. Doing well means making a lot of money. Now, if you're saying, well, Gene, I'm really all about giving money away, great, make more and give it away. But you can't give what you don't got. So I'm going to show you how to do good and do well simultaneously. The do good is reflected right here. These are cards of thanks, notes of thanks from residents' families to the caregivers, to the managers in the home saying, thank you for taking care of mom. Thank you for taking care of dad. That's touching. That's doing good. It's changing your community. It's helping other people. Now we're going to talk about making the money, but what do you really want? One, right place, right time. When it comes to economics, when it comes to business, when it comes to real estate, you're at the right place at the right time because seniors, specifically the baby boomers, have been driving the world's economy for 70 years. You're at the right place at the right time. You just got to see it and take advantage of it. Now, my crystal ball says very, very clearly in the US alone, 77 million baby boomers, there's an average of 10,000 people every day turning 65. More importantly, 4,000 people every day in the US alone turning 85. That's 120,000 85-year-olds every year. 1.4 million 85-year-olds every year. They all don't move into assisted living, but hundreds of thousands of them will, and there's no room in the inn. In the US right now, there's about 1 million assisted living beds. 1 million. There's 1.4 million people turning 85 every year for the next 20 years. That's hundreds of thousands of new people that are going to need assisted living. There's in the US today about 20,000 beds being added every year. If hundreds of thousands need it, but only 20,000 beds are being added, that's a huge opportunity. 90% of those seniors are going to need help. They'd rather stay in their own home, but 70% will need help with their activities of daily living for an average of 3.5 years. So my crystal ball very clearly says they need a home and they need assistance, and that's the opportunity. Now, the common questions I get, Gene, do I need to have any medical experience? No medical experience at all. Well, Gene, I have a house, I'm renting it out to a family. Could I use that house? The answer is maybe, but it depends on where it is and who lives around it. So it's not just any house, it's the right location, and we'll talk about that. Well, Gene, how much money can I make? I'm all about the money. I'll get there. But it's more than just the money. There's 3 ways to participate. It is a real estate play, but it's also a business play. So I'm going to share both of those with you separately and then together. So one way is to get involved in the business, own the real estate, the home, the house, and lease it to an operator. Now, when you lease it to them, number one, you may get a higher rent. You'll get it if you ask, but if you don't ask, you don't get. Well, Gene, why would somebody be willing to pay me twice the market rent? Because you asked. If they use that home and make $10,000 a month, they can afford to pay you more. I get people all the time when I do a live presentation, they say, well, Gene, I didn't know I could charge more. You can charge anything you want. The question is, are they willing to pay? And they are, if you know what you're doing and know what to ask. Two, long-term low impact tenant. Now, to be clear, you're not leasing it to grandma. You're not leasing it to the resident who's living in the home. You're leasing it to an entity who operates the residential assisted living home business in a residential setting. And Gene, what about zoning and all that? I got it. We've handled all that. We'll teach you that. But that business itself is leasing it from you, let's say for 5 years. They don't want to be in and out in a year. They want that home for 5 years with 5-year renewals. So how many of you would be okay with getting twice the market rent with a 5-year lease? Long-term, low impact. Because the residents who live in the home, grandma, grandpa, aren't trashing the house. They're not raising Rottweilers in the back bedroom. They're not dissecting Harley Davidsons in the dining room. They're pretty low impact. Long-term, low impact, twice the market rent, that produces significant residual income. If you're looking to invest in real estate in the US, this may be your ticket. Get 4 or 5 of these homes and make a couple of $1,000s a month in positive cash flow with long-term, low impact, low hassle tenants. Your problem is solved. 2, own the real estate and operate the business. That's what I do, what I encourage you to do, and what we teach people how to do. Now, if I can show you how to turn a single family home into a cash flow machine making $10,000 a month, US dollars, $10,000 a month or more, I'm guessing most of you could get by, squeeze by. You'd suffer through, you could make it happen. Just one, not 100 of these, not a 100-unit apartment building for $10 million, one home. And if you did just that, well, you could be financially free. So now the question is, well, how much does it cost to live in one of these homes? The average today, according to Genworth, which is a long-term care insurance company, is $4,051 per person per month in the US for a private room and assisted living. So let's just say $4,000. And let's say you have an average size home, 2,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet, whatever that translates to in meters. And let's say you have 10 residents. Gene, that's 10 bedrooms. No, you can have 2 people in a bedroom, or you can convert space into bedrooms. We'll teach you all of that as well. But 10, it's easy math. That's potential gross income of $40,000 a month. Now, Gene, what are the expenses to operate this? Well, the overhead is more than just the real estate, more than just the utilities. It's a lot of different things, including the caregivers. Now, I'm going to give you 2 numbers, 25,000 and 15,000. The difference between those two? Yeah, it's $10,000 a month. But the bigger difference is this: do it yourself or pay others to do it for you. I choose to pay others to do it for me. I'm not the manager, not the caregiver. I'm not the cook, the baker, the candlestick maker. I'm not painting walls, banging nails, or checking the temperature. That's other people's jobs. So I'm going to use the 25,000 so we are free. We can go do another home or fly to Belize like I am tomorrow morning to get even warmer than I am here in Phoenix. So 25,000 is the higher side of that. Well, Gene, what does the real estate cost? Well, an average home in the US, 2,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet, you can own it or rent it for $5,000 a month all day long. There's a handful of cities where you need more, but this is an average home in an average area, getting average rates. So that produces $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year. That's twice the household income in America today. I don't know what that translates to in Canada, but could you squeeze by on 10 grand a month US dollars living in Canada? And if you can't, you can do more than one, or better, do a nicer home and do more than one. Well, let's just step it up a little bit. Because when I'm in front of a live group, I always ask the question, raise your hand if you have a family member who's been in or is thinking about going to assisted living, and at least half the room raises their hand. And then I ask the question, do you know how much it costs, how much you paid, or what it's costing them to live in that home per month? And people raise their hand and give me numbers like 4,000, 6,000, 8,000. I've heard up to 15,000 per month for an individual to live in assisted living. So let's just think a little bit nicer, not 4,000, but a little higher, 6,000. With an average home of 10 beds, that's 60,000 gross income per month. Let's add 5 grand a month. Why? Let's hire a chef, white hat, white jacket, culinary trained professional doing cook to order breakfast, cook to order lunch. Now your home stands above everybody else's. Everybody wants to get in because of what you offer. And let's do it in a nicer neighborhood, a bigger home, a nicer home, and make it 10,000 a month in debt service. Now you're netting 20,000 or 240 a year. So if you couldn't squeeze by on the 10, well, hopefully you can get by on the 20. The third way to get involved is be a private lender or a joint venture partner. See, I know for a fact some of you are listening and saying, Gene, I don't want to get in the business and I don't even want to own the real estate. I just have money and I want to write a check and I want people to send me checks. Great. You could be a private lender or an investor, a joint venture partner, where you're getting some profit share. Instead of just putting your money in the bank, getting a few percent, or making an investment, getting 5 or 10%, maybe you're getting 12 or 18% by being a joint venture partner. We can show you exactly how to do that as well. You want to be hands off, you want to do it from anywhere, but you don't want to be involved, we can show you how that's done. So 3 ways: real estate only, real estate in business, or just invest the money and be passive. Now there's 5 keys to success in residential assisted living. The first one is all about location, location, location. And I shared with you, it's about the demographics. So think of level 5 as the nicest area, the nicest home in all of Canada, in all of the US. And think of level 1 as the bad area of town, the place you don't want to go, the place you wouldn't even slow down the car to let mom out, as especially not live in. Now you're not going to do it in either one of those. Your sweet spot is level 3 and level 4. Level 3 and level 4 is the sweet spot, not the top of the top, cream of the crop, and certainly not the bottom. That's where you're charging those average rates and a little bit higher, that 4,000 to 8,000 a month. Private pay, not government pay. So not the province or the country, not the Medicare or Medicaid, not that individuals taking care of their own mom and dad. You know as well as I, that happens in Canada, and it definitely happens in the US, where we pay the money to take care of our own family. That 4,000 to 8,000, that level 3, level 4 is what we teach, what you see when you come to that live training. I'll take you to a level 3, a level 4, and a level 5. You'll see it firsthand, so you can touch it, feel it, and smell it. The second part is the team. I don't want you to be doing the work, so what do you need? We need an administrator, a manager. We need caregivers taking care of those residents. They're trained to do their job. I just come and visit, take pictures, and go. That's it. The managers hire the caregivers take care of the residents. The managers fill the home, keep it full, take care of the day-to-day. That's how it works. So the team of caregivers, they come from all over the world. We have people that are from Romania, the Philippines, North Africa, a few from the US, a few from Canada, but these people are hardworking and love to work with seniors. They're not going to be a barista or a waitress. They want to work with seniors. We've had some with us for years and years and years. We've got caregivers that have 15 and 20 years experience in this, and we have caregivers calling us asking for jobs because we're good to work with. So your team, the administrators, the caregivers, then food preparation, typically that's taken care of by that caregiver, but you could have that culinary professional coming in to prepare the food. And then the independent contractors, things like hairdresser, yoga, music, pet therapy, and handyman and tradesmen fixing the electric or the plumbing. You see, the manager knows who to call. I don't get the call. I just see the bill come through and I see the payment being made, and that's it. When you run it like a business, you can do it successfully when you have the right team. The third element to your success, clients. Who is your client really? It's not that resident living in the home, it's the family. They're the ones who are making the decision on where mom lives and what it costs. The caregivers are the ones taking care of the residents, but the family, that's really your client. So we need to know where to be located, where those seniors are. We show you exactly that. Fourth piece is getting paid. And again, we don't do government pay. We don't do Medicare, Medicaid, provincial pay. We don't do that. We're subsidized by the veterans and so on. We don't do that. Where a lot of people start with is pension or Social Security, whatever that translates to, but that pension or Social Security only goes just so far. I think they call that an RCC, if I'm not mistaken, in Canada, but it only goes so far. So then some people have a long-term care insurance policy. So that long-term care is specifically for this type of care. And after that, or if they don't have that, then it's their cash, their retirement accounts, their homes, their assets, all of that gets liquidated. And when all of that money runs out, then they turn to the kids who are 50 and 60 who now pay those bills. So that's how and where the money comes from. 5 keys to success. The final one is systems. And you need systems in place. Think franchise, where everything is done a certain way. What's good about this is it's not a franchise, do it your way, but we'll show you exactly how it's done, proven formula to be successful. The real estate systems, the team building systems, how to find, train, and retain them, the operations so it's run smoothly with low hassle. The funding, there's 7 different ways to raise the capital or to get the funding for this, and then ultimately partnering, whether it be with individuals who want to be investors or joint venture partners or operational partners. So we cover all of that. Now there's 5 keys to success, and I know I went through a lot of information here, Dave, but I also said that I'm going to give these people who are on this a very special opportunity. I'm going to do that in a moment. So whether you do kind of a low-end home, a mid-end home, or a nice big home making a lot of money, and I want you to think about this, there's some states like Texas where you can have 16 people in a small home. That's so everything's bigger in Texas, right? There's some areas where it's 20 or more that you can have, but think about that on a single family home generating that kind of income. It's huge. And if you have more than one home, it's actually easier. We call that a 3-pack. You're the owner, you've got the manager underneath you, you've got a team in place. More than one home within a 30-minute radius, that 3-pack is what I'm describing to you. And that 3-pack itself, you can have a low-end home, a mid-end home, or a high-end home. It's completely up to you. When I first got started, my plan was to have a level 3, a level 4, and a level 5, and that's what we did, but we didn't stop there. It's actually easier to have more than one home, but I know I'm just talking and there's a lot of words, but you need to see this for yourself. And I put this picture up because I know some of you are very experienced in real estate and business, but you've never heard about this before. But you understand that the crisis is real and the opportunity is huge. So now you're just trying to figure out how you're going to get involved. Tonight, I've touched the tip of the iceberg here. The home study course, thank you, Dave, for your compliment, really just takes you to the next level. But if you really, really want to learn this, I've got something for you here tonight. For those of you that missed the home study course opportunity, sorry you missed it. But for those of you that did take advantage of it, I've got something for you that I really want you to consider taking advantage of tonight. We call it the 3-day fast track. When I first designed this, it was all about an immersion experience. You come together for a 3-day class and learn everything you need to know, but not just hear it, but touch it, feel it, see it, go into the home, meet the managers and the caregivers so that you can see how it's run from the inside out. Now, the home study is great, and if you'd like to get that, we'll hook you up with that, and I'll even offer that same discount that we did before. You can contact us, and we'll make that happen. But I want to focus on the 3-day fast track, and all of you listening, this is your opportunity. So it's a 3-day class. You'll come in on a Thursday night, cocktails and hors d'oeuvres. We start the party early there, but on that Friday when we get together, day 1 is a data dump. We're in that classroom, and it's a limited class size. We literally only have 8 seats left for the March class. They're always selling out. For the last 2 years, they've sold out. We do it 8 times a year, but 8 seats left. And if you want one, you'll have an opportunity tonight with a huge incentive. You'll see in just a moment. But day 1, you're in the classroom, you're learning, you're there with others, but it's a limited class size. You're learning together all of that information. It's a fun experience. We have people that bring a partner. It could be a spouse, could be a son, it could be a father, it could be a business partner, and there's an opportunity for that as well. Day 2 is really where the rubber meets the road. This is where we go out into the homes and you can touch it, feel it, and see it, smell it, and it becomes real. This is the context for the content. You see, I could tell you about it all night long and I could show you pictures, but until you see it for yourself, you won't quite get it. So the tour, the bus tour that we do is phenomenal. We actually see 3 homes. We start with a level 4, then I take it to a level 3, then I take it to a level 5. So you get a full gamut of opportunity. Then on day 3, we come back into the class. We talk about how do we fund it? How do we put it together? How do we joint venture? How do we put the deal together? And then what are the next 10 steps after we leave this class? So we've laid it out so you know exactly what to do. Step 1, 2, 3, all the way through. Nothing is left undone. By the time you're done, you will have graduated and received the RALS, the Residential Assisted Living Specialist certification. You'll have that in print. You'll have it online as well. And now not only do you know, but others know too, that you know what you're doing. Now that class itself is $5,000 to attend. And we typically discount that class to $3,000. And I told Dave something very special because, you know, Dave, you want to come out to the class, and I know you have some people there too that want to come out. It's a lot warmer and more comfortable here than it is there. And I'm going to give you an opportunity. We have 8 seats in our March class, and I want to give you an opportunity to get one of those seats. Now, by the way, if you're saying, Gene, I don't know if I got the date, stop making excuses. We can find a date for you that works, but there's 8 seats in March, and I want to give you this opportunity. For those of you that already did take advantage of the home study course, the opportunity where we gave you a big discount, and you got it for $997, I'm going to give you an opportunity here in just a moment. But it's 2020. We're at the beginning of a new year, a new decade. And I don't know if you've taken the time to sit down with a pad of paper and figure it out, but what is really your purpose? You know, why are you here? Is it just about making money? Is it just about real estate? Is it just about a job? Is it just about punching a clock? Why do you exist? What's your why? What's your purpose? And then what's your goal? What are you going to do now to fulfill your purpose? And I know some of you listening right now, you're like, you know what? This makes sense. I can make a lot of money and I can help other people. And you'll find purpose in this. Some of you you're here tonight because you've been thinking about doing this for a long time. You just didn't know how to get there. And this is your opportunity here tonight. And that's why you're here. You already know this is what you want to do. And some of you, frankly, just haven't taken the time to even think about why you do what you do. But if you work for somebody else, I guarantee you're working to make their dreams a reality, not yours. Because if your dream is simply to retire so you can live on a few dollars, that's a sad existence. I want you to have purpose. And if this makes sense, if you want to help other people, like the idea of doing good and doing well and building a legacy, passing something on to your family, to your community, well, guys, this could be it. Now I'm going to give you a huge opportunity to take advantage of this. We set up this special website here, davesspecialoffer.com. Make sure you say Dave's with an S and then specialoffer.com. When you go to that website, you're going to see an opportunity there. And I want you to, I'm going to actually go to it in just a moment because I want you to see it very, very clearly. But please write down that promo code, Dubois, right? 997, DUBEAU 997 is the promo code. I'm giving you that. And I'm hoping you're writing it down right now because I'm going to take it out of here and I'm going to go straight to the website. I want you to see this firsthand.
I just put that in the comments box there for everybody, Gene. So
thank you for doing that.
Click on the link, you guys.
When you go to that website, this is what you're going to see when you get here. It's not going to be a button to buy this right now. So I want you to just scroll down a little bit. And when you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a lot of information there, but just keep scrolling down. Because when you scroll down, you're going to see something down here where it's going to say get registered. So look for the green button that says get registered. And when you press that green button that says get registered, this is where you put in that code. Now you can see the different classes here. As I told you, it said 8 spots, but I don't even know if it's still 8 spots left. So if you do want March, take advantage of it now. But that March class right here, it says save my spot. So we say save my spot, you press that button right there, and now it's going to take you over here. So this is the screen. The code itself is going to go in right here where it says have a promo code. So you see it right here next to the $29.97. So again, you're going to go to davesspecialoffer.com, go all the way down to the green button. All right, I'm going to show you that one more time before I put in this code. When you get to that green button, get registered. All right, you pick that date, and the March date is the one that we're focused on because there it is. But pick your date. If you need to change the date later, we can do it. But if you want a seat in March, get it now because it will be gone. But when you go to this have a promo code, I'm going to do this for you because once I put it in, it's locked in. And you press this, it says enter your promo code. And what was the promo code? 2020. 2020. This is the promo code. We're going to hit the
Dubois 997.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't unmute myself fast enough. Dubois 997.
Oh, thank you. Did I spell it right? D-U-B-E-A-U? Because thank you guys. Dubois 997. And I'm going to hit the button that says apply. And when I do, I want you to see this down here, because for those of you in 2020 that are saying, I'm serious about this, I want to upgrade this, what we're going to do is give you a 100% credit for the home study course that you already purchased. We never do this, guys. I hope you know that. We never do that. You're going to get a 100% credit, and it's going to give you $1,000 discount on that discounted price. So it's discounted from $4,997 to $2,997, and now we're going to give you that entire $1,000 as a discount back. So yours is $1,997. Now, guys, when you put that in, hit that, make sure to hit apply. It's going to give you that discounted price. You'll see it right there. I don't know why it's got the extra 60 cents on it, but it is what it is. You know, we put this together for you in this format because you're here, and I want you to take advantage of it. But we're only going to have this up for 24 hours. Gene, that's unfair. No. You know what? I know that if you want to do this, you will. You'll take advantage of it. But if not, you'll just make excuses and put it off and never do it. People always say, oh, someday. No, today is the day, 2020. I don't know how many full moons you have left. I don't know how many I have left. But if this is something you want to do, take advantage of a $1,000 discount right here, right now. Now, that code that I put in there, DeBow 997, is good for the 24 hours. You got to go to davesspecialoffer.com, and I put it in there for you so that you can see that very clearly. And I'm going to make sure that I can see that again as well, because I want to make sure it's in there. And thanks, guys, for catching my piece not having it there. Good. Promo code Dubois 997. And is it Dubois or Dubois?
Dubois.
Yeah. I'm trying my French accent. It's not working here, as I have to tell you.
That's okay, Gene. I'm a Frenchman who speaks no French, so I get corrected. I get corrected by French people all the time on how to pronounce my own name, so it's all good.
Well, you know, there it is. I know I went through a lot of information, and I hope that answered some of your questions for you there. But I'm sincere, guys, when I say this. You know, Dave, you brought me here, and I really appreciate that. But I just don't do this for anybody or any presentations in Canada at all. You have a huge opportunity. You've got tens of millions of people in Canada that are going to need this help at some point in their lives. Millions of them need it right now. But this is about come to US and invest here. Do it there if you'd like, but we'll teach you how to do it in the US. This opportunity for you is huge. Take advantage of it. Like I said, 8 seats in March, and pick your class. But if you want March, do take advantage of that right away.
So, Gene, do we have some time for a little bit of Q&A if people have some questions?
We do. If you find that some of the questions are similar, just kind of lump them all in together.
All right. So, you guys, this is your chance. If you have any questions, now's the chance to ask them live. Type them in the question box. I will ask them on your behalf. And in the meantime, Gene, I had a few people send in some questions ahead of time.
Sure.
And I'll see if we can go over them. I mean, a lot of them you covered in between the presentation and the one you did last time. So again, typical Canadian question, which we always have, is, does this work the same in Canada? Yeah,
So,
somebody already in the program doing it up here.
got it. So here's the deal: is that I know that, you know, with the handful of provinces that are up there, rules are going to be different in each one of them. With our 50 states, it's different in each one of the states. For your provinces, the country is one thing, but it's going to be provincial. Every city is going to have little rules and specifics. So it's different in Canada. It's different in each province. It's very similar, I'm sure. I have not done the research for Ontario versus something else. I haven't done that. We teach people how to do it in the US. We've had Canadians come down. We have some students that live in Canada, but they invest in Florida, let's say, or invest in Arizona. But the homes are here in the States. They live up there. That's typically how they do it. I do know there are some students that are working on doing it in Canada as we speak. Once I have good information on that, how it goes and how it works, I'll share that with you. But right now, we're teaching you how to do it in the US, and you can apply it internationally.
All right. So somebody's saying, Tim's saying, what do I do if I hadn't taken advantage of the first offer? So I think he's talking about the home study course that we offered back in November.
What I want you to do then is, if you're looking for just the home study course, or let me throw this out too. If you're saying, hey, I want to come to the 3-day, first of all, if you haven't paid for the home study course, you don't get the discount. Let's start with that. But if you're saying, Gene, I want to come to the 3-day, but can I still get the home study course, kind of get it retroactive? And the answer is yes, you can. If you sign up tonight and just go to that same website, davesspecialoffer.com, go down to the register, just don't put in the promo code. You do that $29.97, that discounted price. We internally will know where you came from. We will make sure that you get access to that home study course right then and there.
Which would be a good idea. I'm suspecting that'd be a good idea before you go to the 3-day course to go through the home study course. Now, is that necessary, Gene?
No, it's not required. It certainly can't hurt, but not required. We're going to teach everything you need to know live. As a matter of fact, I mean, thank you for bragging on the home study course, but I will say that what I love about the 3-day training is it's 3 full days. There's about 10 of us on staff who are there. I'm the main presenter, but there's 10 of us there to help and answer questions. Our whole support team is there. So phenomenal experience, because not only is it the time where we're teaching from 9 to 5, but hanging out at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and afterwards we stay out till 10 or o'clock at night. And the question and answer that happens late at night is that is the nuts, because I can only teach so much. But when you ask me questions one-on-one, having a cigar and a glass of wine, well, then we get into more things.
And then you get into the real stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when it really happens, so the hanging out part is a really good part. By the way, if you have any questions or you're confused on any of that, send Isabel an email at Isabel, ISABELLE at RALAcademy.com. I'm sure they'll be putting that in the chain right there, Isabel at RALAcademy. But take advantage of that promo code for the full discount of the home study. If you did not get the home study, but you'd like to do the 3-day, go to davesspecialoffer.com, sign up without the promo code. That way we know to give you access to the home study course right away.
All right. What do we got here? So Gene, we got somebody asking, Arturo's asking, this presentation is for option number 2, own and operate. What about option number 1, own and lease the property, and option number 3, just be a private lender or JV partner? How do I get information about that?
Got it. So number 1, the more you know, the better. So I'm going to encourage you to come to the class, even if your thought is, I'm just going to do the real estate, because your next question should be, who am I going to lease it to? And I'm going to tell you right now, the key to your success, if you want to own the real estate and lease it to, is you want to find that operator first before you buy the property. Before you do that, that operator, they're going to tell you, here's where I want the house. Here's what I need it to be. So don't go get the house first, get the operator first. That's the key. So if you're in the class with them, you know who they are. You've had some chance to understand what this is, how it works, what is going to make them a good operator. Now you've built that bit of a relationship to start with. That's a good resource right there. For those of you who are saying, I want to invest, option 3, number 1, in the class, you may find people there where you're saying, hey, I would like to buy the real estate, lease it to you, or I could be a private lender, or we could joint venture on this deal. Same thing, you're connected with those people right then and there in the room. But you'll know more about what this is and how it works, because if they're not right sitting next to you and you don't know who they are, you need to know as much as you can before you go look for that person. What makes them good, bad, right, wrong, and we will teach you some of that in the 3-day class, and then we can connect you after. But we really don't work with people outside of the class, because within our tribe, within our family, we've got a lot of people that have come through the class who are investors, who have money, have the real estate, want to lease it too. So we kind of connect people together inside that ecosystem, that family. So come, option 1, 2, or 3, it's good for all of you.
Excellent. All right. Jamie's asking, how much is it to bring a partner along?
Thank you for asking that, because Dave, I did a different presentation for you tonight. Some good news for those of you that have a partner, whether it be a spouse, a child, a father, a son, whatever it may be, $1,000 for that second person. So theirs is discounted all the way to $1,000. So yours is $29.97 or $19.97 depending on, and their second person is $1,000. Now, it's a legitimate family member or business partner, not just somebody you met and rubbed knees and elbows with. So shouldn't be a problem, but there it is, $1,000.
All right, very good. Good question. Oh, lots of questions coming in here, buddy. All right.
That's good.
So, is there a plan to do this course in Toronto? No.
So not at this point. It's not even on our 2021 schedule, so it's not in the near future.
Well, plus I think he's talking about the course. He's talking about the whole tour and the whole thing. That
Yeah.
that you can only do in Phoenix because that's where you have your facilities, right? So, so Mr. Honeyburn's asking, is there a group that we can join that is doing this or will be doing this in Canada, specifically in BC? So, no, not at the moment. However, what I'm trying to do, you guys, is I'm trying to see if there's some interest in a bunch of us going down together this March 5th, 6th, 7th to Phoenix. That's when I'm thinking about going. That's when I'd like to go. If you'd like to come along with me, and there'd be a little the Canadian contingency right there, then we can all be learning together and kind of brainstorming about how can we best bring this to Canada. Things are different in Canada. Gene, typically things cost a hell of a lot more in Canada than in the States, but you charge less than what you guys are charging in the States. So it's more expensive to run these kind of things, but the revenues tend to be a little bit lower. So the numbers are going to be different, you guys. So we have to look at how does it work? Does it make sense?
I really want to encourage you guys. And number one, Isabel, make a note on the website right there. It said March, it's 6, 7, 8. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6, 7, 8. Let's just make sure that's
6, 7, 8. All right, perfect.
So that's one. But two, I want to encourage you guys because I do not want you to be hands-on. And let me explain what I mean by that. Hands-on. If I had a house right next door to me that is a residential assisted living business, I'd be over there every day, checking lights, checking temperature, checking everything. If it's 100 miles away, all right, I got to make a plan to go there. If it's in 1,000 miles away or across the border in your case, I may get out there twice a year and make it a vacation. So if I can operate that business successfully and I don't want to be hands-on, it actually may not work to your favor to have it right next door. So consider that. A lot of you, it's amazing to me, a lot of people in Canada invest in the US. They open up an LLC in the US and now, boom, they can own property and invest and so on. Just be thinking about that as well.
Yeah, so you do actually have experience. We were talking last time, Gene. You do have Canadian students who are actively doing this in the States, correct?
Yes.
Yes. What you don't have is, or what you're not aware of, is Canadian students actively doing this in Canada.
Exactly. And I love the way you put that, not aware of. Maybe they are, and I don't know because they haven't told us.
All right, perfect. So we got licensing, corporations, all insurance, all that kind of stuff. That's the detailed stuff to talk about. We got an interesting question here, Gene. So Janice was signed up in November, but she's the one that actually did the live course with you whenever it was. So not very long. So she'd like to come back again. Is there a discount for her if she wants to come back a second time?
Send Isabel that email. So Isabel at RALAcademy and have that conversation with her.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm sure we can figure something out there, Janice. All right. Here's a little question that people probably have in the back of their mind. They might not have seen the first presentation because I think you covered this.
Yeah.
It says, what if one of your seniors quietly passes on their sleep? Or what if there's a major accident, somebody falls and they sue you personally for everything you're worth and more?
Well, number one, we're all going to die. And I'm just being real. You know, people move into assisted living and this is their last stop. It's not like from here they go back home. This is where they are. At some point, they will pass away. Very few people move on to a nursing home or into a hospital. They just passed away, as you said, quietly at night. And it's not all of a sudden either. Somebody's actively passing and the managers know it, the caregivers know it, and it's sad for them, but it's the real world, it's real life. Now, the next question was, well, what happens if there's an accident or something happens? And people are always going to want to know, but keep in mind, it's a home and those caregivers are taking care of mom and dad and those people, when they know that this person's actively passing away, they're calling the family to say, come on in, say your last goodbyes, and so on. They're probably right there by their side when they do. Let's say there's an accident of some kind. Well, there's all kinds of things that we do, which means make records. Here's what happened. Here's what was said. Here's what was done. There is the proper insurance in place. And if you do your job right, and we'll teach you how to, you'll have the right residents with the right family with the right attitudes, and you'll have the right insurance in place. So even if somebody doesn't quite agree, you're still covered and protected. So actually on the phone with my insurance guy earlier today, 7 years in the business, and I've never had an issue. I've trained thousands of people around the country, not had an issue. Well, Gene, I read stories about, yeah, what you typically read stories about is what we call the big box, 200 people, where there's 5 caregivers taking care of 200 people, where somebody gets seen once every 2 hours or once a night, maybe. This is a home where there may be 10 residents and 2 caregivers taking care of them. People are well taken care of. And me as the owner, us as the staff, we want them to live forever. You know, my motivation is I want mom to live forever, because that's a source of revenue to me, right? So we want them to be healthy and happy and being there for a long, long time. That's very important to us. So our goals are aligned, and if we do our proper job, we're picking the right residents and families, and we have the proper insurance just in case. And God willing, you never have to use it.
All right, you guys, we're going to wrap up with one last question. Arturo, you're the lucky guy. And then Gene, we'll let you get on with your evening here. But Arturo's wondering, generally speaking, how much capital would be required to start your first RAL business?
And the answer is it depends. And let me explain the 3 parts of the question. One is the real estate. So you may own a house right now that could be perfect for it. You may lease it from somebody else. So it's, what is the lease cost? Or it may be a house you have to buy, which means there's a down payment and so on. The next part is renovations or remodeling or additions. Is there anything you want to do to that house? So that could be $2,000 or $200,000 depending on what it is you want to do. So there's the acquisition of the real estate or the use of, there is the renovations or the additions to, and then there's the soft cost or the blue sky cost. Whenever you're starting a business, one of the biggest mistakes that people make is they're undercapitalized. They have less cash on hand to get through that startup phase than they need. So we teach you exactly what it is you need, how much you need to raise, where you're going to get that money so you have the right amount. But 3 parts: acquisition of the real estate, renovation of the real estate, and the soft costs or the blue sky. All 3 of those things together, that's the total. How much is that? It depends.
Of course it does. All right, Gene, as always, fantastic presentation. Awesome stuff. So you guys, again, my goal for having Gene come on again is kind of a selfish one. I want to go and attend the 3-day event in March in Phoenix, 6th, 7th, 8th, and I'd like to have some company. So if you're interested, I'd like to have some Canadian company. It'd be fun. I think there's a lot of interest here. I've sent out feelers. In fact, I'm going to be meeting with Janice, Gene, in about a week, I believe. She's going to be coming back to Canada. We're going to sit down and compare notes. I've got other people checking things out in different provinces. So the idea is get a group of us, a small group of us, go down to Phoenix, boots on the ground, really see how you do this business and see whether it makes sense, or have a much better idea of, does it make sense to start one of these up in Canada? Does it make more sense to follow the process and do it in the States from a distance? That's what I really want to find out by going to this event. And if you're curious about that, then it's a great opportunity for a bunch of us to all go down at the same time and create a little Canadian mastermind all around residential assisted living, and see if we can make a go of it here or make a go of it in the States. That's what it's all about. I don't think there's anybody better we can learn from. Again, Gene, just the quality of that home study program blew my socks off. So I got pretty high expectations for for the workshop in Phoenix, and I
Always
know
good.
for
We
a
have
fact
fun.
that you'll beat those or exceed those. So if you guys are up, if you're up for it, if you're in for coming along and enjoying the ride, and let's see if we can make this happen, go ahead, check it out, davespecialoffer.com. One of the big discount there, DeBow $997. And yeah, I'm going to be going for the one in March. So time's a ticking, you guys, and there aren't very many spaces. You really don't have that many people come out to your workshops. You keep it pretty small and pretty tight, right, Gene?
No, it depends on what you're saying there, but I think when Janice came out, we had 100 people in the room,
Oh wow, okay.
because people
Couple of
bring
buses.
spouses. Yeah, people bring spouses and so on, but we have a huge staff and a great facility for it. So the reason why we have to keep it to a certain number, though, is the buses that we take to the homes and going through the homes. But the class is filled, but we personalize the experience for everybody. You get good one-on-one time, and we get to hang out personally, so it's a good thing.
That'll be a great thing. And Janice is giving you a nice plug. She says, you won't be disappointed, Dave. So there you go.
Thank you, Janice.
Awesome. All
Thank
right,
you,
everybody. Thank you very much. Gene, as always, thank you very much. Isabel, thank you for all the wonderful stuff you do behind the scenes. And you guys, maybe we'll see you in about a month in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. All
Thanks,
right.
everybody. Great time of year to come out. See you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.